Is my video artsy yet? Welcome everyone, welcome to another long review. I like doing these whenever I see really bad movies. I did it for The Woman in the Yard, films like The Strangers Chapter 1, Tarot. And I think this movie deserves this format because I just could not believe how bad this movie was. So, Hurry Up Tomorrow is directed by Trey Edward Shults, and it stars The Weeknd, Jenna Ortega, and Barry Keoghan. And in this movie, we follow a pop star with insomnia who meets a fan, and things happen. Now, look, I'm not going to talk about the plot description because what plot? I mean, you're going to know when I get into this review, but let's just get straight into this. So we're going to go throughout the movie, one by one, beat by beat. And that intro that I just did is one of the opening shots of this movie. It's the introductory shot of our main protagonist, The Weeknd, playing The Weeknd. He's just playing Abel Tesfaye The Weeknd in this movie. And that is his opening scene. He's blowing raspberries in front of a mirror, staring down the lens. And honestly, me and my three friends... Oh, by the way, the only people in the cinema was me, my three friends, and two people behind us. We were all laughing. And you'll know why later on in the review. But yeah, that was the opening scene in this movie. And honestly, it was just a tone setter for the rest of this experience. So Abel is dealing with insomnia. And he's recently broken up with a girl who he really liked. He continues to call her. He's saying, like, why did you leave me? Please come home, you know. And he's a mess right now. He's drinking a lot. He's taking drugs. And he has this condition where, I forgot what it's called, but basically his voice is being ruined. But his manager keeps saying, no, come on, we've got to keep going on tour. And eventually his voice is ruined. Now this opening act is very dull. There is hardly anything outside of the introductory scene that is very laughable. Because it is so boring. I'm not even joking. The majority of this first act is just The Weeknd singing songs at a concert. That is literally what I paid my money for. Directors, writers, the people who made this movie. If I wanted to see The Weeknd perform on stage, I'd watch a video of it. Or better yet, I'd actually pay for a ticket to see him at a concert. I'm not going to the cinema to watch a concert. I want to watch a film. And also in this first act, we meet Jenna Ortega's character, who, by the way, do not ask me what her name is. I have no idea. I think her name is Annie. I think they say it once. But don't question me on it. I'm not 100% sure. But we first see her burning down a house with gasoline. And I was like, okay, well, how's this going to affect the plot? What's happening here? It's not explained. No explanation whatsoever. The only hint that I got throughout the movie is that later on she says that she wanted to back away from her past life. And I guess her burning down this house was like symbolism. And then her mum calls worrying about her. But that is literally the only hint at why she did that. Other than that, I have no idea. So yeah, The Weeknd performs, his voice goes, he's embarrassed on stage. And he sees Jenna Ortega in the crowd. And it was so laughable. He basically just sees her and they lock eyes and it's like they form a connection instantly. This was fanfic levels of writing. And I've got to get into the flaws here right away. The Weeknd's acting. Now look, I like The Weeknd as a singer. I think he's made some absolute bangers. I Feel It Coming, Starboy, Blinding Lights, The Hills, Party Monster, all bangers. Love them all. But boy, stick to singing, man. You cannot act. This and The Idol is a clear indicator that you are not fit for this yet. Maybe if you took some smaller roles, got an acting coach, actually learnt the craft of acting, maybe you could get better. But right now, no way, man. You need to learn. I mean, we've all seen that viral clip from the movie. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. What's your problem? I got calls. I got calls. Like, what's that mean, by the way? I got calls on my phone. Amazing writing right there. So yeah, The Weeknd runs off from his manager. They're all searching for him. And he runs into Jenna Ortega's character. And this is where the fanfic levels of writing really come front and centre. Because we just see these two at a fun fair having a good time. And then they're in a taxi and then they're both crying. Which, by the way, there is a lot of shots of crying in this movie. With nothing happening. Literally just still shots of people tearing up. Not even that. Sometimes they're not even crying. They're doing that where no tears come down but they're acting like they're crying. It was just so weird and stupid. So the Weeknd and Jenna go to his hotel room. And he plays her an unreleased song. And they play the entire song. Near enough the entire song. And also, I don't know if this was a thing in other cinemas, but I could not hear it whatsoever. It's played on a phone. And I was like straining my ears trying to hear it. But I genuinely, for the life of me, could not hear what he was singing. And then it's implied that they have sex with this weird, like, audible shot. Which, by the way, this brings me to my next point. The cinematography. This movie feels like the cinematographer asked the Weeknd and the director for a favour. It's like he wanted more like example work on his portfolio. And they just went, yeah, man, I got you, man. Like, just do this movie. Because while the cinematography does look pretty good in some parts, it has no point to it. There are many times where it's just these random cool looking shots for no reason. They do this 360 shot so many times. And yes, it doesn't look bad. It actually looks pretty good. But what is the point of it? There is no point whatsoever. And it honestly makes the film a lot more laughable. Like at the start where the Weeknd's manager says, oh, he's just going somewhere. The Weeknd just suddenly like spazzes out. He's like, oh, oh, no, where is he? Where is he? And the camera's like going all over the place, like lights are flashing and everything. And it's like, bro, like he's just gone away somewhere to go to the toilet or something. Why are you spazzing out like that? It was just so stupid. And while the movie does look really good in some parts, it's probably the only really good thing about this movie. Some of the shots in this movie do not make any sense whatsoever. So anyway, after they have sex, I believe they have it anyway, they wake up at breakfast and the Weeknd says, okay, right, we're going to Australia for my next concert. And Jenna Ortega's like, okay, can I come now? I want to come with you. And the Weeknd's like, no. Yeah, you're fine. And Jenna Ortega gets increasingly mad. And then we get that popular viral video where the Weeknd is just giving an Oscar-worthy performance, may I just add. And then he just walks off. And then Jenna Ortega just whacks him around the head with a bottle. And it was just so laughable. It's like, picks up a bottle, bing, and then just cuts to black. It was just so funny. And then we get to probably the most random part of this movie. This part of the movie makes no sense whatsoever. The Weeknd wakes up and he's going around the hotel, which is no one's around. There's no one outside it as well. No one around the city. He's the only person left. And then he goes into an elevator and then it stops and the doors open and it's just pitch black. And of course he's a bit worried. He's like, okay, what's going on? Goes down this corridor and there's just this woman crying. And then, yeah, big jump scare with a loud noise. There's like 2 jump scares in this movie. They're both absolutely terrible. I have no idea why they just decided to go for like spooky haunted mansion type horror. And then he goes down this corridor a bit more. And then he's at a campfire. And then there's this kid who I'm guessing is a younger version of him. Starts singing. And then he wakes up. And honestly, I was baffled. I was looking at the screen like what? What was that all about? So he wakes up and he's tied to the bed and Jenna Ortega is there. And then we get to the third act, which is one of the stupidest third acts I have ever seen in a film. The Weeknd showcases his absolutely amazing acting once again. His character's tied to the bed. And it's like, untie me. Untie me. Untie me. Please untie me. Bro, if I'm in that situation, I'm screaming for my life. Now brace yourself, because this is how the third act plays out. Jenna Ortega is a mad Weeknd superfan. And she's like decoding his lyrics to his songs. And then she plays Blinding Lights. Starts dancing around to it. Probably like giving it a good shimmy. And just starts telling him what the lyrics mean. And how they're like an emotional connection to his fans. This is the biggest ego rubbing I have ever seen in a film. The Weeknd was a writer on this movie, may I just add. And he is writing scenes where a fan is dancing to his music, decoding his lyrics, telling him how great he is. Are you taking the piss? And she does it again with another song. I don't know which song. Does it again. And then the Weeknd's manager knocks on the door because he tracked him on his phone. Which doesn't make any sense because why didn't he find him earlier? If you could do this the whole time, how did he not find him earlier? So Jenna Ortega stops him from coming in. And then Barry Keoghan comes through the door. Which, by the way, I forgot to mention. It's like Barry Keoghan knew he was in a bad movie. So it's like he just went, okay, I'm just going to have a bit of fun. There's this one scene at the start where he sniffs some coke. And he, like, gets onto the floor. And he just starts thrusting the air. He's, like, on all fours. He's, like, proper, like, thrusting it back and everything. I was like, what the flip is he doing? But hey, he's having fun, so you can't really blame him. So him and Jenna Ortega have a scuffle, which, by the way, was pretty bad. I mean, he just looks so stupid. And then Jenna Ortega stabs him in the neck and then he's dead. The Weeknd is obviously very traumatised by this. And then Jenna Ortega gets that bucket of gasoline again. And starts, like, putting it all over the Weeknd. And she's about to set him on fire. And I'm not even kidding. The Weeknd just starts singing. He sings the unreleased song that he played on the phone earlier. The whole thing. We literally do not cut away from it. The only time we cut away from him is when we see Jenna Ortega crying. That is it. We hear the entire song for nearly 3 goddamn precious minutes. This movie feels like it's wasting your time because it's just showcasing the Weeknd songs and him singing. It's rubbing his ego once again. It made the movie so freaking boring. So after the Weeknd has a mini self-concert to himself, Jenna Ortega unties him. He goes down the hallway and the hotel room is burning in the background. Jenna Ortega is not with him, by the way. She's just disappeared. And then he turns the corner and he's magically in his dressing room again. And he sits in front of his mirror, which, by the way, I was half expecting him to blow raspberries into the mirror again. But he didn't. Would have been a really good way to end the movie, though. But the fact that Jenna Ortega is not in that final scene led me to a fan theory where people believe that Jenna Ortega wasn't actually a real person. She was created in the Weeknd's mind. Which, in context to what the movie was trying to say, I guess it would have worked. But the way that the movie presents these messages and themes is just bad in the first place. So this ending just doesn't hit. Let me just put this into perspective. Nothing happens in this movie. It consists of the Weeknd singing, the Weeknd at a concert, the Weeknd drinking, taking drugs, having a good time with Jenna Ortega, and then back to more singing and dancing to the Weeknd songs, rubbing his ego again. That is literally the entire movie. If you are the biggest Weeknd or Jenna Ortega fan, you will not enjoy this movie. It is bad, it is lifeless, it is boring. Well, what story? There's no story in this movie. Things just happen. And yes, there is an attempt at a message, but it is not conveyed well at all. You are basically buying a cinema ticket to see the Weeknd getting glazed for 100 minutes and to see him sing a few songs. That's it. That is literally it. I really did not like Hurry Up Tomorrow. It is one of the worst movies of the year so far. It is going to get a really bad score of a 2 out of 10. I cannot believe how bad this movie was. It doesn't stoop as low as The Idol. Nothing stoops as low as The Idol. It's the worst TV show I've ever seen. This at least had some fun bad moments in it to keep you slightly entertained. But overall, it's just a boring mess. But yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you have seen Hurry Up Tomorrow, do let me know your thoughts on it. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a good day. And see you later.